Welcome to Roomy's Ultimate Guide in Fish. And in this video, I'll be going over the basics on how you play fish, mechanics, and rod progression. I'll be also going over the bestiary, your equipment bag, and much more. So stay tuned, it's going to be a long one. The first thing you want to do when you start off the game is the flimsy rod. That's the first rod you get in the game, and it's very ass. I mean, it's pretty bad. So now when you get onto the game, you want to talk to that guy over there, and he's basically the guide. He gives you quests. So the first quest is going to be catching 10 fish. And yeah, catching fish isn't that hard in this game, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. So you're going to see these shake bars. The first thing you're going to do is click on them. As always, you're going to keep on clicking on them until you get a fishing icon. Now once you see the exclamation mark, you have to do this mini game. So if you press left click, you go to the right, but if you do not press left click, you go to the left. So this is pretty easy once you get the hang of it, but it gets pretty harder eventually because of more rods, and some rods have bad lure speed. So now that you know how to catch fish, we're going to be talking about the basics of catching fishes. Each rod has their own buffs and debuffs. Obviously, the flimsy rod kind of has a buff because everything's set at 0. And some rods have like negatives, or but that's mostly in rod progression. So once you catch 5 fish, you want to go back to the guide and you want to talk to him, and he's going to give you more quests until you level up to level 5. And to level 5, that's when you get your first boat. So for your first boat, these are the 2 boats I actually recommend. It's either the rowboat, which is obviously a starter, or you could try and save up for the surfboard. Those are the 2 best boats, the rowboat and the surfboard. But everybody has their own thing. So boats are good because they can help you travel, and the turning rate is good. If you're getting boats, I'd recommend on the turning rate, how fast they go, and yeah, it's pretty much it. And the price, obviously. If you're trying to go for a cheap boat, then try to look for a good speed. I'd say the hoverboard is a good boat to get recommended, started on. But yeah, after that, you want to get your first boat, and you want to go to the ocean, which is all the way over there. Alright, now that we're here, these are the 3 tips I'm going to get you. So if you see abundance of flags, like a large amount of flags, you want to fish in that area. But here is the catch. Sometimes you might not always get the fish because obviously it's rare, and 2, there's a lot of flags here. Now I don't know if this game has like a catch rate where if there's a lot of fish, like these flags over here, there's a lot of them, so it's probably a less chance to get mythicals or legendaries. But you want to catch in this area because in this area there's a lot of good fish in here because of the flags. But if you don't want to do that, you could try heading over there or a place where there's less flags and catch fish because you have a higher chance of getting legendaries. But usually I catch in an area where there's more flags. That is the tips I'm going to give you for ocean grinding. If you're going to go for ocean grinding, the best rods to get for rod progression are the carbon rod, the training rod, or the lucky rod. But the lucky rod is only good if you have a controlled enchant, which I don't expect you to get straight off the bat. Speaking of enchants, you get enchants from fishing. It's a 1 out of 300 chance to get a relic, and with that relic you head to an island of the Statue of Sovereignty, which we will be heading. Now that we're here at the Statue of Sovereignty, first thing you want to do is go down here with these miners, you want to head here. You want to talk to this guy. You're going to have to pay him 400, and you go down the elevator. Once you go down the elevator, you should see a throne similar to refinery caves, but not really. And that's basically it for relic progression and enchant. Now for that, we're going to be going into rod progression. Each rod has their own unique things. The carbon rod is probably the basic rod out of the bunch because it lets you catch fish easily and is the best rod for pretty much early game and a little bit of mid game. For lucky and rapid rod, if you want, not rapid, fast, if you want to catch a lot of fish, I recommend going for fast rod. But if you also want to catch big fish, I recommend going for lucky. But you have to get at least a good enchant, which I recommend controlled, because the lucky rod does take time to get used to because it's really fast and it sucks for catching fish. Now we're gonna be moving on to islands. Each island has their own rods. So if you go to where is it? If you go to Razalt Bay, you could get the steady rod, rapid rod, or fortune rod. The fortune rod is just like the lucky rod, except it has more luck and it really sucks into catching fish. So every lucky rod you get, I would recommend the controlled enchant. After that, you get the steady rod. The steady rod is actually one of my favorites. This steady rod helped me catch this squid, the colossal squid. The colossal squid is a really big fish in the game, and the steady rod is really good for it, especially if you get the unbreakable enchant, because it increases strength by 10 kilograms, meaning you get bigger fish with it, and I pretty much recommend it. The steady rod is one of my most favorites. And then for the rapid rod, I haven't gotten the rapid rod yet, but it's just like the fast rod, except it catches fish more quicker and more easily. After that, we're going to be talking about the magnet rod. The magnet rod is like the video that I showed about. The magnet rod is only good for grinding money and getting loot crates, meaning if you want to get common boxes, baits easier, the magnet rod is the way to go. And to get a shit ton of money, you guys can watch my guide on how to get a lot of money. That's pretty much rod progression. There's also mythical rods and like destiny rods and the nocturnal rod. The nocturnal rod you get from entering a whirlpool, and it basically gives you the advantages of catching nocturnal fish in the day instead of the night, so that's a bonus. For the mythical rod, it's 110k. The mythical rod you get by from a traveling merchant. It basically converts your fish into a mythical, and it's pretty good. It doesn't convert into a mythical, but it gives it like a buff. So buffs are basically when fishes have like these enchants. Like you could get an electric fish, you could get a big fish. So each fish has their own thing, like darken. Darken makes the fish black, and it also gives you money. So each variable enchant for the fish gives you a lot of money for it, meaning you could get a big colossal squid, and it could be, I'd say, probably bigger than this island, but it all depends. After that, there's also, I believe, the King's Rod, which you get from the Statue of Sovereignty. It's down below, you gotta find it somewhere, I'm not sure where it is though. And there's the Midas Rod, which the Midas Rod converts your fish into gold, and it gives you a lot of money. I think it's self-explanatory. Yeah, that's pretty much it for rod progression. Now we're gonna be talking about the bestiary. So each island has their own bestiary. There's the Keeper's Altar, which I haven't done yet. There's Moosewood. There's Mushgrove, Ocean, Razalt, and Razalt Volcano. Speaking of Razalt Volcano, there's also the Magma Rod, which if you head to Razalt Bay, which I will show you. One thing I forgot to mention is that when you enter the strange whirlpool, there's gonna be a conch that you can use. It's gonna be for 400. So I don't recommend going there unless you're gonna catch a shit ton of fish. Okay, now moving on. We're going to be finding I'm gonna show you how to get the magma rod. So once you've followed here, once you're over here, you're gonna see this little cave, and you're gonna go down here. After that, this is gonna be the Rosalt volcano. I do not recommend fishing here unless if you want your rod to be broken. Do not fish here unless you have the magma rod. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over here. And now you're gonna talk to this orc. So I've already done the quest, but what he's gonna say is to get you a puffer fish, and a puffer fish is very easy. You can find it here in this island from one of the docks. I remember catching it within my 5 tries, so yeah. Yeah, so I've catched the puffer fish. Once you've done that, you have the ability to use your magma rod. Alright, so once you've got your magma rod, you can use it to fish in the lava, and you can catch some pretty good fish. As you can see, we have the Ember Snapper, and I'm gonna sell that since I basically lost my daily login. Speaking of that, you can get daily login rewards from the game, which I recommend if you're gonna be playing this game a lot. Pretty much it on how you play the game. Rod progression you can do your way. There's really no way on how to do rod progression. You can catch whatever fish you want. You can start from the ocean or you can start from the stocks. It doesn't really matter. But just know that if you're going to play this game, play for fun. My name is Roomy, and that is it for my ultimate guide on fish. See ya in the next episode.